think for the average eater or the omnivore, they think plant-based food is just simply not going to be good. For me, good food is good food.
What do you only eat broccoli now? Like, like there's just like this whole idea of like what veganism or what plant-based diets look like.
Plant-based is a lot more palatable than the word vegan. Vegan is loaded. It means so much. It comes with angst.
We started off with an all meat and cheese taco truck. And I thought, ooh, are we going to alienate these customers if we went plant-based?
I guess you might think that opening a plant-based restaurant is risky, but I just felt it was becoming and is becoming the future of food.
I look at plant-based in the last 5 to 6 years like hip-hop was in the early 90s and punk rock was in the 80s. It's kind of against the grain. It's not what everyone else is doing. People that are doing it, their voices are loud, they're excited, there's this discovery, there's this anti-establishment feel to it. And I think that that's exciting for some. There's also this food discovery that just opens you up from this kind of narrow view of food and beverage to, all the possibilities are out there.
Removing non-plant items was a challenge in the beginning. I was extremely challenged because for so long I cooked with so much butter. I cooked with cream, making a sauce, adding richness to a soup. And so early on, I wasn't able to find, I think, the depth that some of these foods have. A big part of plant-based food is recreating textures and feels that are familiar to people. I worked my way through the mushroom family, and in doing so was able to find different mushrooms for different uses and different dishes. So the asada is actually oyster mushroom, kind of manipulated to have a very meaty texture by adding marinade and hitting it pretty hard on the grill to impart some more of that smokiness. Really has the richness and the mouthfeel of asada. It was really just researching products and that trial and error. And I found through that process, using omnivores as guinea pigs, I wasn't catering to vegans. For me, it's really important as Taco Vega to kind of be a place for better food choices. I had decided to do a triathlon, local Olympic distance triathlon. And just in my own personal research of endurance training, I just looked into what is the best way to, fuel the body to do this. My own research has kind of led me back to a plant-based diet. So I tried it solely as an experiment, and it was an experiment that just stuck.
When you're having a heart attack, which I don't wish for anybody, you feel a pressure in your chest and a severe shortness of breath. Initially, when I was walking upstairs or our trailer, we had a crank on it, and I had to crank it every night to when I leave it at the commissary. I would feel this extreme shortness of breath, and I just thought, wow, this anxiety is really getting to me. I just didn't know what it was because I never felt it. And I told I'm not feeling well. And she said, oh, I'll just take you to the clinic. And we went in, and right away they took me in and hooked me up to an EKG, and they told me then you're having a heart attack, and 99% blocked, which they call the widowmaker. After having the heart attack, the doctor suggested, why don't you try just going vegan? And I asked him, well, what is that? I lost 50 pounds going plant-based. After starting the taco truck that was meat and cheese, I started creating more vegan items, stuff that I would like to eat. What do people line up for in LA? A lot of the places was fried chicken. We decided, okay, let's try it.
Richard was in the kitchen making his vegan chicken and coming back, and we were tasting it. When he says it took a year, it took a year.
Well, I think one of the things that makes Richard a great chef is his passion for his craft.
I love the creative part of it. The beginning where we're developing dishes, that is the most exciting part for me. Seitan is vital-wheat gluten, which is like a byproduct of making flour. So when they mill wheat, you will get flour and then the protein part of it, which is the vital-wheat gluten. It makes like a masa, and once you either fry, bake, steam, or boil, becomes firm. Veggie stock that we make with celery, onions, and carrots, and a little bit of tomato, just add it in there. So just incorporating. And I like to just pull apart as I do this. The fried chicken is a little bit more juicy and tender, so that's why I don't like to knead too much.
Perfecting the chicken texture, perfecting the breading and the flavors that came along with it.
If I make it too thin of a roll, the patty's gonna come out really small. And then now I'll put this in the steamer for 1.5 hours to 2 hours. And then we put it in our slicer and we get our chicken patties.
And believe it or not, he ended up putting that fried chicken sandwich on the taco truck.
Yeah.
And it became one of our most popular items.
People would come to the truck just for the sandwich. Just putting care in how you put things together gives a better result. So that looks pretty good.
He's taking methodology that comes from very old Asian cooking and applying it to an American Southern comfort food classic and creating something completely new.
He cooks from love, and he really wants people, when they eat, to feel that love.
The pickles we do here are exactly how my mom taught me how to make them. Exactly, I didn't change a thing. And just to give you that love that she taught me through food. And I was, 7 years old when I started helping her. So back then, Korean moms, they don't tell you to be careful or you're gonna cut yourself or anything like that. They just tell you what you need to do. And if you cut yourself, you kind of learn that way to be careful. And this is my mom's kimchi pickles. You want to add about 4 of them, because every bite you get, you want to have a bite of the pickle. Have you ever had a stressful day and you go home and your partner just gives you a real tight, hard hug and it just melts away anything that you were feeling that day? That's what a good fried chicken sandwich should do. Making people's day with the food is the biggest reward for me.
I think the risks and the benefits of doing a plant-based restaurant are kind of similar to just doing a restaurant in general. I mean, you gotta be out of your mind to open a restaurant. But everybody's opening up a fried chicken shop. But not everybody's opening up a plant-based fried chicken shop because it's a lot more effort and you can't just fake it. It creates market differentiation for one. Anyone can eat here. Whereas if we had a fried chicken shop that was based in animal protein, vegetarians and vegans would by nature be excluded essentially. I remember the first night that we were really open to the public, Richard and I had this moment where there's just nonstop line of people all the way out the front door and around the corner. We just saw the line and thought, shit, I think we might have a hit, I think it's a paradigm shift. What we're seeing is a kind of collective consciousness as it relates to the politics of food and how it affects our bodies, how it is affecting our climate, and the health and well-being of animals too.
If I had a cattle farm right now, I would be really worried because I think the shift is happening through plant-based eating. We're showing that you can still have a great burger, you can still be cool, but without the death and destruction of animals and the destruction of our planet. And I think if you give people the plant-based experience in a familiar way, in a way that doesn't test them, it doesn't make them feel less, it doesn't judge them, then they'll actually enjoy the food and be excited to come back again. To be successful in anything, you have to have a good product. It can look simple on the outside, but it's all in the details. Monty's starts with a impossible meat patty. Our grill kind of has this onion glaze on it, so it's picking up some of that flavor, some of that umami. artisanal buns. They get a little bit of our house spread on there, tomato, lettuce, cheese melt, all of it. Then we put a beautiful burger in your hand and we put a strawberry shake next to it. I don't know how you go wrong with that setup. We just went over 2 million burgers sold. As we unpack these systems that have governed us and have shaped us from all these years, that's somehow colliding with food and food culture, right? And so it's going to flip completely over because they're going to realize that I don't have to eat animals. This is not my only option. And so not only are you making kind of a personal change and a personal commitment when you start to move in the plant-based space, we're showing that we can be conscious, we can be accountable through how we eat.